Got my hand right here.
And he was shocked that that was indeed the Brittany Griner, because it was definitely a man. Okay? A man with an Adam's apple, deep masculine voice, and there's just no, and a size 17 shoe.
Recently, a momentous personal occasion has happened for her.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together.
Justice just came crashing down on Brittany Griner, and it landed with a vengeance. After her disgusting, racially charged shot at Caitlin Clark exploded across social media, the WNBA did everything it could to sweep the truth under the rug. But karma doesn't have a short memory, and this time it struck with ruthless precision. The punishment? Cold, swift, perfectly earned. The very league that shielded her for weeks just handed down a decision that flips the whole script. Griner's career may have just hit a dead end, and if we're being real, she brought...
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe. I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate
every ounce of this on herself. So what feels more satisfying? Watching Griner finally face the music for her racist remarks, or witnessing the WNBA grow a spine and finally enforce its own damn rules? The moment fans have been begging for is finally here, and Brittany Griner is about to find out. Actions carry consequences, and sometimes they hit where it hurts most. For weeks, the WNBA acted like her racist swipe at Caitlin Clark didn't even happen, but now, the league office just dropped a bomb that's shaking the basketball world to its core. This is the same organization that bent over backward to shield
See, Brittany Griner is a man. Well, come on now. This is another conspiracy situation, but you see this picture. No shirt.
Griner from accountability, but now they've been forced to do what they should have done weeks ago, and the fallout is brutal. And in the middle of all that chaos, Griner casually reveals that she fathered a child. Yes, you heard that right. She and her wife just welcomed a baby, and suddenly the internet is doing a double take. That one clip has people genuinely confused. Well, not confused, more like stunned. It's bizarre, possibly even revealing. The league that coddled her for weeks has finally made a call that changes everything. Griner's WNBA run could be finished, and honestly, she earned every consequence coming her way. Again, what's more gratifying, seeing Griner finally held to account for her racism, or the WNBA actually stepping up for once and enforcing rules without bias? It's here, the moment the whole basketball world's been holding its
dudes. I don't know if she would ever place in any medal ever again. And it works the same way in soccer, it works the same way in the WNBA. I'm sorry, ladies. You're very good at what you do against other women. Respect. Love you. Awesome. Especially the ones in the leotards. But if you start playing against dudes, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Breath. For Brittany Griner's about to learn. When you cross a line this loud, karma doesn't whisper back, it screams. After weeks of radio silence from the league about her blatant attack on Caitlin Clark, the WNBA just dropped a decision that detonated like a grenade. The same league that twisted itself into knots to protect Griner is now, finally, pulling the trigger on accountability. And the results? Devastating. Yet through all this, the WNBA still did nothing publicly, and Griner, no comment, which is telling. I've watched that video more times than I can count, and I'm convinced. It sounds like Brittany Griner says, "Foxing white girl." I believe it was Jamila Hill, who once worked with her at ESPN, who first pointed it out. But
This was so great for Ari, and I'm so happy for her. I like, it would be great to have her as a backup point guard, but it just sounds like that's not, what the front office is willing and can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough.
Rewind to what really set this all in motion. On-court footage caught Griner mouthing the words "trash fouling white girl" after fouling out in a heated matchup against Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. And now the WNBA's trending, but as usual, not for anything positive. Griner's under fire for over-the-top aggression toward the league's most talked about rookie, Caitlin Clark. That viral clip, it didn't just spark outrage, it reopened old wounds from Griner's past that she probably hoped stayed buried. The footage was damning. Lip-reading experts confirmed it, and the racial undertone, clear as crystal to anyone who wasn't pretending to be blind. But instead of acting fast, the WNBA panicked. They scrambled straight into full-blown cover-up mode, desperate.
Straight up sore losers, what she said. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or create a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. What the does that mean, Simone? What in the does that mean?
To shield their golden veteran. This is the same league that once went scorched earth on Indiana Fever fans for allegedly saying racist things. But when one of their own stars is caught red-handed being overtly racist on national TV no less, they go silent, they ignore it, they downplay it, they hope it'll vanish. But here's the thing about karma, it doesn't get distracted. And now the protective bubble the WNBA built around Griner, boom, gone. Blown apart for the world to see. Griner herself spoke up. I knew there'd be consequences. I expected some kind of suspension. I respect that. I got 3 games. I'm not disputing it. Was it fair? Honestly, I think everyone involved should have gotten the same. 3 across the board. That would have been fine by me. But this wasn't just about a scuffle. This was the tipping point of a long, ugly pattern that the league can't ignore anymore. This is the same player who whined about crowd noise because fans finally showed up and actually gave a damn. The same athlete who was rescued from Russian prison and came back only to dish out hate and arrogance toward her fellow Americans. The entitlement, the lack of gratitude, the ego, it all finally caught up, and now the league had no out. It had to act. Griner's behavior wasn't some minor blip. It was the final straw, and once again, when she thought no one was watching, Griner let it fly, playing against Indiana
in that gender bending game. You know, was it the real reason why she got detained and arrested? Because Russia definitely is not
She turned to the refs and went off, caught on mic, clear as day. You can hear it. Trash-fitting white girl. No filter, no restraint. And the market, the entire basketball world, they reacted instantly. Another quote started making the rounds. Something else Griner said recently. Every time we play her, there's this loud noise, just this rumble from the stands. Turns out it's fans, thousands of them, actually, watching. It's disruptive, girl. That's literally called a crowd. That's the game you're paid to play. If you don't want that energy, don't step on the court. The financial blow from this fallout is next level. We're not talking about just a few missed checks. Griner's losing sponsors, endorsements, speaking gigs, everything. And any chance at redeeming her image? Going up in flames. Let's not forget, the US traded an actual arms dealer to bring her back, and she returned spewing venom, entitlement, and spite. Now every lost dollar is a brutal reminder of what she threw away over one racist outburst. Karma, it chose its moment like a sniper. The suspension came right as the WNBA finally started growing, thanks in large part to Caitlin Clark. But those new fans, they won't stick around if they smell hypocrisy. Sponsors started pulling out, TV deals wobbled, because no brand wants to back a racist, and definitely not one that's been coddled by the league for years. The truth? The contract clause allowing for her suspension was always there, hidden in the fine print, waiting. The league had power. They just refused to use it until money forced their hand. That makes their silence not just weak, but shameful, and that's why this punishment hits different. Delayed? Yes, but still justice. And somehow the wait made it all the sweeter. Now Griner's teammates and loyalists are crying foul, calling it unfair, saying the evidence wasn't solid, arguing that veteran players deserve more grace. But none of that erases this one truth. She made racist remarks about the league's biggest star on live TV, and millions saw it. No PR team can spin that. No damage control can unsee the footage. Clark's fans, they're celebrating loudly. They've been begging for this moment, watching the league ignore them while chasing ghosts in the stands. This isn't just a punishment. It's a reckoning. The league had lost credibility. Now it's clawing some back. This sets the tone. No one is above consequences. Not even stars. Not even players with years of service. This is what real accountability in sports looks like. And it's what fans and brands have been demanding. The special treatment culture, it's finally under fire. And the media, they're not off the hook. Coverage of Griner's suspension is forcing reporters to confront their own biases. Most ignored her
Biological
comments
women.
when they first
Why?
went viral.
Because
Now,
they would be
they're
dusting
scrambling,
you
desperate to
off
explain why they
all
stayed
day
silent.
long.
The credibility gap
Do
between
you
media
think that Brittany
and
Griner can play
public
in the
outrage
NBA?
wider than ever.
F
For Griner,
no.
the money's
She
drying
couldn't.
up
She wouldn't
fast,
even make any
endorsements
team in the
canceled,
NBA.
future
Brittany Griner
deals
wouldn't make a
gone,
single
speaking
NBA
tours
team
dead.
roster.
This wasn't just a
None.
misstep. It was a career-ending lapse in judgment, and that's exactly how it should be. Because when you cross the line on camera in front of the world, you don't just lose support. You lose everything. Corporate America doesn't tolerate racism, especially not when it's on video. And now that no room for hate campaign the WNBA pushed, yeah, it's been exposed as empty PR because for too long it was just noise. Loud slogans, zero action. It wasn't principles that sparked this punishment, it was pressure, pure financial pressure. And that truth might be the most disgraceful part of all. Commitment, please. The hypocrisy is wild, even by pro sports standards. But what really makes Griner's fall from grace so jaw-dropping? The prisoner swap. The US literally traded a convicted arms dealer to bring her home. That's how far the country went for her. And what did she do in return? She made blatantly racist comments about her own fellow Americans. The level of disrespect is unbelievable. It's no surprise that so many people are calling this collapse nothing short of poetic justice. The shockwaves across the WNBA are enormous. Players who thought they were untouchable, who believed the league would always shield them, are now glancing over their shoulders. Suddenly, the ones who've been skating by with toxic antics are quietly wondering, am I next? That's what real accountability feels like. And this could be the spark of a full-blown cultural shift across the league. Fear is a hell of a motivator, and the timing couldn't be more crucial. This suspension landed right as the WNBA entered major TV deal talks and high-stakes sponsorship renewals. There was no way they could drag this mess into those meetings. At some point, protecting Griner became more expensive than punishing her. When there are millions on the table, even the WNBA can't afford to keep pretending everything's fine. Doing the right thing finally made business sense. Social media lit up with support. Fans who had practically given up on the WNBA's backbone suddenly felt like, maybe, just maybe, justice had actually been served. For once, the league didn't just talk, it acted, and fans noticed. The outpouring of praise proved this wasn't just a moral win, it was a financial one too. Public opinion flipped on Griner the moment that clip hit the internet. And let's be honest, the internet doesn't play nice. Legally, sure, she might try to fight the suspension. But good luck with that. The receipts are bulletproof, the contract terms are rock solid. Any lawsuit would be a PR nightmare and would only shine a bigger spotlight on her racist comments. She'd be digging her own grave, and the fallout doesn't stop there. Coaches, execs, and front offices across the WNBA just got a crystal clear wake-up call. The rules actually apply now. No more hiding drama just because someone's a star. No more sweeping dysfunction under the rug. General managers everywhere are redoing the math because protecting a toxic player isn't just a bad bet anymore. It's a liability. And let's not forget the international audience. Griner's actions didn't just stain her own reputation, they embarrassed American basketball on a global stage. The world is watching, and how the WNBA responds matters. A firm suspension sends a loud, no-nonsense message. This is what we stand for. No excuses, no favoritism, just real values. The fans, their response said everything. They've been burned by silence, let down by weak leadership. But this felt different. People who had walked away are now tuning back in. Cautiously optimistic that the league might finally mean business. This could be the beginning of a real reset, but only if the WNBA proves this isn't a one-time performance. As for Griner, the personal hit has to be devastating, because for years she truly believed she couldn't be touched. Now, she knows she can. The league once launched initiatives with thunderous applause, and then stood by while those same values were blatantly violated. This wasn't action born from principle. It was action forced by pressure. Public pressure, sponsor pressure, fan pressure. And that right there shows exactly how hollow their so-called commitment was all along. The hypocrisy, off the charts, even by sports standards. But again, let's talk about how insane this is. The US gave up a convicted weapons trafficker to bring Griner back. That's the scale of sacrifice this country made for her, and how did she repay it? by spewing racist rhetoric against her own people. The ungratefulness is staggering. No wonder so many see her downfall as karma served hot. And the ripple effects, they're massive. Players who once thought they were safe now realize the shield is cracking. Toxic behavior is under the microscope, and even the ones who've gotten away with it for years are sweating bullets. Am I next? That's the question echoing through locker rooms. This is what accountability looks like, and it might be the start of a major cultural shift in the league. And again, the timing couldn't have been worse or better. Right in the middle of pivotal TV deals and big money sponsor talks, this suspension hits. There was no way to walk into those negotiations with this scandal looming. It was too costly. Backing Griner started to look worse than punishing her. When cash is on the line, even the WNBA had to stop turning a blind eye. The dollars finally aligned with doing the right thing. Fans noticed. They showed up online with massive support. Many had already written off the league's integrity, but now for once, it looked like someone finally did the right thing. The outpouring wasn't just emotional, it was strategic public opinion. Flip the second that video surfaced. And the court of public opinion, it's brutal. Griner might lawyer up, she might try to appeal, but it's a lost cause. The footage is damning. The paperwork is airtight. Any legal fight would only amplify her racism and make things worse. But this isn't just about her, it's about the whole ecosystem. Front offices, coaching staffs, league executives, they all got the message. The days of protecting stars at all costs are over. The risk isn't worth it anymore. In fact, it's dangerous. And on the global stage, this hurt. Griner's meltdown didn't just reflect on her. It tainted American basketball's image. The world was watching, and now they're watching how the WNBA handles it. This suspension? It made a statement. No more cover-ups, no more special treatment, just clear, unshakable values. And the fans, they felt it. They've seen the league ignore bad behavior for too long. But this time, this moment felt real. People are giving the WNBA another chance. Eyes are back on the court, but only if the league proves this wasn't a fluke. As for Griner, the emotional weight of this must be crushing. She lived like the rules didn't apply to her. Now she's learning they do equal. Treatment isn't just a slogan anymore. It's actually happening. This scandal rocked the league. The investigation left no gaps. Everyone who witnessed it came forward. Extra footage backed up the claims. There was no dodging it. The evidence was overwhelming. Her actions weren't just out of line. They were deliberate, and worse, racially charged. This wasn't some slap on the wrist. This was a full-on bulletproof suspension. No loopholes, no PR spin, no backdoor deals. And let's be clear, this wasn't just about disciplining a single player. This was full-blown crisis management. Griner's actions nearly set fire to everything the WNBA has worked to build. Sponsor relationships, fan loyalty, national credibility, all of it put at risk by one outrageous outburst. So now the league is going into full cleanup mode, and they're sending a message. This will not be tolerated. As part of her possible return, Griner's reportedly being forced to go through the full process. Sensitivity training, community service, and a very public apology. And for someone like her, who spent years acting like basic decency was beneath her, yeah, that's poetic justice. The most satisfying part? Watching karma swing back. For years, she moved through the league with arrogance and entitlement, like the rules didn't touch her. But after going after the one player breathing new life into the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, the hammer finally dropped. That suspension wasn't just punishment, it was a message. No one is above the code, not even Griner. She learned the hard way. The consequences are real, and when they hit hard. The WNBA just made it clear. Even the biggest stars can't dodge accountability forever. Karma pulled up, and it didn't miss. If you think justice was finally served, hit that like button and subscribe for more moments of long overdue reckoning.